Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Build Boldly. I'm Allison Barber, Marketing Director here at Rise Commercial District. As we wrap up the first quarter of the year, I think this is a really good moment to pause and ask, how is the roadmap actually feeling in real life? At the beginning of the year, Pat walked us through four major areas that shape a healthy business: strategy and operations, finance and accounting, sales and marketing, and personal growth. And I think what's important to remember is that these aren't just ideas to revisit in January. They're the kinds of foundations that need regular attention as the year unfolds. So, in this episode, we're pulling together a few key clips from that business roadmap series to help you reflect on what's working, where you might be feeling a little bit of friction, and what might need a reset as you head into quarter two. Whether you're feeling clear and energized or a little behind already, I think this is a really helpful chance to step back, reconnect to the bigger picture, and keep building with intention.
There's a phrase that I think about regularly. Hope is not a strategy. It's a statement that grounds us in reality. It's a statement not just for leaders, but for your entire team. From sales to operations, we need a defined path to remove roadblocks, achieve milestones, and keep our eye on the ultimate destination. The best way to frame this is that strategy sets the plan, and operations is the execution of your plan. Achieving success requires clear and direct execution. Without operations, there is no execution. Without further ado, let's dive into our top 5 tips on strategy and operations. Number 1, do a 360 review of your 2025. For our Spotify listeners, think of this as your business wrap for the year. It's easy to think about the wins and achievements. It's a lot harder to truly dive in on what didn't go well. When we do a full 360 review, we have to look at both the good and the bad. Most importantly, we need to dissect the good at a more granular level. For example, we may have hit our revenue targets for the year, but if we dive in further, could we have achieved more with better processes? Could we have better margins if we adjusted an input here or there? Every aspect should be reviewed in order to truly understand where you can improve and where you can double down. Number 5, get buy-in from your people. This is the most critical step of the process. If your people aren't bought in, nothing else matters. Share every aspect of what you've discussed with your team. The most important thing employees and partners look for is the why. Giving them the why and how you got there builds buy-in. When you include employees in the process and give them ownership of projects or tasks, you build an incredible amount of trust and buy-in. Not to mention, the boots on the ground have far more knowledge of the day-to-day roadblocks and challenges they experience than you ever will. Include your team, celebrate the wins, build trust, give them the why, and see what you can accomplish together. I hope these strategies are things you are already doing or plan to do. Getting this right builds on every aspect of your business. I cannot stress this enough. If you only take away one thing from this episode, it should be gaining buy-in from your team. If you figure this out, everything else will fall into place. When people understand the why, know what their goals are, and how they'll be measured, as well as feel a part of the bigger vision, i.e., your North Star, incredible things will happen. We're now ready to work backwards from these goals to establish our budgets, areas of investments, and forecasts for the new year. And we started with our finance and accounting. We won't truly understand the gaps in our business or the areas we need to invest in, like hiring, software, and technology, partnerships, and so on. Finance and accounting are the language of business. Without them, we're flying blind. Whether you're planning on selling your business in the future, applying for financing to expand your operations, or even to simply turn a profit, we can't do any of this without accurate and timely finance and accounting principles. Anytime we are leveling up and increasing our targets, we have to identify where this new productivity is going to come from in order to achieve our objectives. This may require additional hires, or software solutions to increase existing employee productivity. Depending on our industry, this may be acquiring more inventory, capital expenses like equipment and machinery, or new space to continue growing your business. The most important factor here is knowing where and when to invest in the business. This is where your pro forma comes into play. A pro forma is simply a what if model of how you get to your goals. You'll input all of your assumptions around revenue, expenses, hiring, and any other elements that support you in achieving your goal. A simple example may be a goal of doubling your revenue. So the first question to ask is, can I double my revenue with the current team? Can they do more with their current workload and their current abilities? Or do we need to hire someone, buy new equipment, or potentially software that makes them more productive? This model shows you the blind spots and becomes a guide to achieving your ultimate goals. The next step is your budget. The budget provides guardrails to these goals. They define the outputs that determine if we are successful. Proformas and budgets are also easily found online, and there are tons of YouTube videos available to quickly learn and build these models. I can't stress this enough. Hope is not a strategy. Your proforma and budget become the map to success.
Okay, I hope this recap gave you a chance to pause and take an honest look at where things stand after quarter one. I think one of the biggest reminders from this series is that building a strong business is never about getting everything perfect all at once. It's about continuing to come back to the fundamentals, making adjustments as you go, and being willing to look clearly at what your business needs next. As you head into quarter two, maybe the question is not, how do I do everything? But what's the next most important thing to strengthen? Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for building boldly with us, and we'll see you next time.